at this, you are missing the entire point. And if you don't know what this is, let me enlighten you. This is Rachel Zegler performing the role of Eva Peron in Jamie Lloyd's production of Evita, which is currently just opened on the West End. Now, the reason why people are angry, and it's mainly the people who have paid the big bucks to be inside the theatre, they are mad because arguably the biggest number in the show, Don't Cry For Me Argentina, is being performed outside of the theatre. Rachel Zegler stands on one of the balconies outside of the London Palladium, and she essentially performs the song to people in the street. And people who have paid good money for their tickets are annoyed that that song is not going to be performed live in the theatre, and instead it is going to be beamed in via video cameras, which is very Jamie Lloyd. Like, think about what he did on Sunset Boulevard. It's very him. However, if you are upset about this, you're missing the entire point. And Eva Peron sings this song. She is meant to be singing to the poor people of Argentina, the people who would not have been able to afford the theatre tickets. And frankly, like, it's a stroke of genius from Jamie Lloyd. Whether or not you like how he stages his productions, I can take him or leave him, to be honest. I didn't mind Sunset Boulevard. Was it my favorite thing? No. But whether or not you like him, you have to admit that doing this, given the context of this song, it's genius. It's brilliant.
Rachel Zegler just had a complete meltdown on stage in London, and Disney might be pulling Snow White from their platform because of it. You're watching someone's career crumble in real time. We're talking Backstage crying, fans throwing stuff, and a performance so off that even her supporters said, "You just hate yourself for watching." But here's where it gets wild. While Rachel's having breakdowns, Snow White somehow became the #1 movie on Disney+. So, why would Disney want to remove their biggest streaming hit? If you've been on TikTok or X, you'd think Rachel's London performance was some kind of magical comeback moment. But I gathered the real evidence from people who were actually there. And let me tell you, it was a complete disaster wrapped in a pretty bow. So, Rachel recently performed in the London revival of Eva, and yeah, the social media clips made it look impressive. But when you dig deeper into what actually happened behind the scenes and get testimonials from real audience members, the story becomes way more messy. Music. Now, if you look at that performance clip, it seems fine on the surface, but here's what the internet wasn't telling you. One fan who actually attended wrote this brutal review on X. "There was no timing, no rhythm, no point in this performance. You just hate yourself for watching." When your own fans are saying they physically regret spending money to watch you perform, that's not exactly the redemption arc energy you're going for. This wasn't just one negative review, either. Multiple people who attended started sharing similar experiences once this first review went viral. But here's where it gets really interesting. According to several Backstage sources, Rachel allegedly refused to go on stage initially and was spotted crying backstage before the performance even started. We're talking full emotional breakdown mode before she even stepped foot in front of the audience. Now, there was also this whole controversy about why Don't Cry For Me Argentina was performed outside the theater instead of inside. Some people online try to spin this as brilliant and genius artistic direction. But there's actually a TikTok user who broke down the real reason this happened. Mad about this, you are missing the entire point. And if you don't know what this is, let me enlighten you. This is Rachel Zegler performing the role of Eva Peron in Jamie Lloyd's production of Evita, which is currently just opened on the West End. Now, the reason why people are angry, and it's mainly the people who have paid the big bucks to be inside the theater, they are mad because arguably the biggest number in the show, Don't Cry For Me Argentina, is being performed outside of the theater. Rachel's Laws stands on one of the balconies outside of the London Palladium, and she essentially performs the song to people in the street, and people who have paid good money for their tickets are annoyed that that song is not going to be performed live in the theater, and instead it is going to be beamed in via video cameras, which is very Jamie Lloyd. Like, think about what he did on Sunset Boulevard. It's very him. However, if you are upset about this, you're missing the entire point. Ana Pon sings this song. She is meant to be singing to the poor people of Argentina, the people who would not have been able to afford the theater tickets. And frankly, it's a stroke of genius from Jamie Lloyd. Whether or not you like how he stages his productions, I can take him or leave him, to be honest. I didn't mind Sunset Boulevard. Was it my favorite thing?
No.
But whether or not you like him, you have to admit that doing this, given the context of the song, it's genius. It's brilliant. After watching that explanation, it becomes pretty clear that performing outside wasn't some creative choice. It was damage control for whatever chaos was happening inside the actual theater. And just when you think the irony can't get any thicker, Rachel was spotted wearing a shirt that says F nepotism during this whole London trip. Ma'am, you literally got the Snow White role because of your connection to Steven Spielberg. That's like wearing a down with corporate greed shirt while cashing Disney paychecks. The level of self-awareness here is absolutely zero. But while Rachel's out here making fashion statements and political gestures, her actual career has been imploding faster than a viral TikTok dance trend. Here's where this story gets really dark, because the London theater situation wasn't happening in a vacuum. Rachel's entire Hollywood career has been in complete freefall, and the pressure was clearly getting to her. Word on the street is that Rachel started looking for a therapist right after seeing Snow White completely bomb at the box office. And honestly, when your movie loses a major studio hundreds of millions of dollars, you're definitely going to need some professional help processing that level of professional devastation. Disney took such a massive financial hit on Snow White that they straight up canceled their future remake projects. We're talking about Tangled, which was supposed to be their biggest remake project in Disney history. So Rachel didn't just bomb with one movie, she literally killed Disney's entire remake pipeline. That's the kind of career impact that follows you around Hollywood forever. When executives hear your name, they're going to remember the project that cost them hundreds of millions and forced them to scrap years of planned content. According to multiple entertainment industry sources, Rachel now has 4 films that have completely bombed at the box office. 4 consecutive failures. And here's the really brutal part. She has 0 upcoming movie projects lined up. Nothing in development, nothing in pre-production, nothing even rumored. In Hollywood terms, that means she's basically persona non grata. Right now, studios aren't returning her agents' calls. Directors aren't considering her for roles. She's become box office poison, and everyone in the industry knows it. Even her pivot to theater isn't going smoothly. Her Evita play has been struggling with ticket sales since it was announced. Rows of seats are remaining unsold weeks before the official opening, which is absolutely not what you want to see when you're trying to rebuild your reputation in a different medium. So, you have this perfect storm of professional failure, financial pressure, and public scrutiny all happening at the same time. No wonder she was having emotional breakdowns backstage in London. Now, here's where the story gets really intense, because we actually have documented evidence of Rachel's mental state during this whole crisis period. After Snow White's catastrophic box office performance in the London ticket sales disaster, multiple sources reported that Rachel had a complete emotional breakdown backstage. We're not talking about just being upset or disappointed. This was described as a full psychological collapse. Multiple people who witnessed her London performance confirmed that her rhythm and timing were completely off throughout the show. When you're a trained professional performer and audience members can tell that you're not mentally present, that's a serious red flag for your emotional state. But here's the smoking gun that proves just how bad things got. Someone actually captured footage of Rachel breaking down after singing one of her songs during the Evita rehearsal process. Music, sad. Music, this isn't speculation or rumors anymore. This is documented visual evidence of someone cracking under the pressure of consecutive professional failures. You can see in that footage that this isn't just normal pre-performance nerves or artistic intensity. This is someone who's genuinely struggling with the weight of their career collapsing. And remember that outdoor performance situation I mentioned earlier? Multiple witnesses reported that fans in the crowd were actually trying to throw things at Rachel during the performance. Nothing says successful career comeback quite like having to dodge projectiles from your own audience members. But even after all this chaos and clear signs that she needed to step back and regroup, Rachel was still making political statements at the stage door after performances. Amazing! Guys, we got time. Just a couple. And thank you so much for speaking up about Palestine. It is one of the most important things in the world, if not. Thank you so much, guys. That's enough now, I'm afraid. This is particularly messy because her Snow White co-star Galadoo is Israeli. While Rachel has been very vocal about supporting Palestine during the movie's promotional campaign, this created incredibly awkward tension between them. And apparently Rachel still doesn't care about maintaining professional relationships, even after her career has taken multiple hits. The crowd that gathered to watch her outdoor performance was honestly massive. People were genuinely curious to see if she could pull off this comeback moment. But according to the reviews and audience reactions, she just couldn't deliver what people were hoping to see. Now, here's where this entire situation becomes absolutely bizarre. Because while Rachel's having public mental breakdowns and her career is imploding, something completely unexpected happened with Snow White on streaming platforms. Snow White somehow became the #1 movie on Disney Plus in 48 different countries after it dropped on the platform on June 11th. According to multiple entertainment industry sources, the movie went from 4th place to #1 in just 24 hours. So, the same movie that bombed catastrophically in theaters and essentially ended Rachel's film career suddenly became Disney's biggest streaming success. You'd think Disney executives would be celebrating this unexpected turnaround, right?
Wrong.
Disney is actually panicking about these streaming